Thank you to the chair and to our witnesses for some very good testimony. I'll start with Mr. Siegel and your recommendations, which were very helpful. Your first one was expanding funding for the nonprofit security grant program. That resonates with me because I know in my district in Rhode Island, we have numerous synagogues, churches, schools, mosques that have utilized that program. This is a federal program that helps those religious and community-based organizations get the security upgrades that they need to keep people safe. Cameras, facial recognition, etc. As of yesterday, and I believe this is still the case, the Trump administration has still not awarded $210 million of nonprofit security grant funds from fiscal 24, and has also not even noticed the funding for fiscal 25, an additional $274 million for availability. So that's in total nearly $500 million that the administration is withholding in nonprofit security grant funds, to say nothing of the budget for next year that they've proposed, which is also inadequate. So can you just, help us out here? Part of our job as Congress, as members of Congress, is to hold the administration accountable and to make sure the administration is doing everything that it can to protect people from anti-Semitic violence in this country. Can you just speak some more about the importance of releasing these grant funds right away and why the administration needs to act immediately on it?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Attending an event at a Jewish museum or marching or walking peacefully to show solidarity with hostages, or walking to class, or even just walking down the street in Brooklyn should not be an act of courage. But that's where we are.
Yeah.
And so the community is feeling vulnerable. This is a crisis moment, and we need to rely on our leaders and the government to help protect communities when they are at most risk. And I think that's what we hope people will understand, and that these dollars are going to go not for superfluous issues, but to protect people so that they don't have to be courageous just to be publicly Jewish.
That's very well said. Thank you. And I'll just say again, I genuinely appreciate that the administration has stated that cracking down on anti-Semitism is a priority. It should be. But the actions need to follow the words. And a very basic action is to release the nearly $500 million that Congress has already appropriated for the nonprofit security grant program so that lives can be saved. Your second recommendation had to do with the CP3 program. Again, for people at home who may not be familiar, can you explain what that is and why it's important?
Yeah, the Center for Prevention Programs and Partnerships at DHS, the idea there is that it would help prevent mass casualty attacks and extremism, not just respond to it afterwards. And my sense is that based on some of the work that was done there, they helped save lives. Anti-Semitism is the lifeblood of many extremist movements, both domestically and globally. And so if we can push back against the narratives that we know animate people to violence at the earliest stages, the community will be safer. And that's what CP3 has the potential to do.
It's about preventing people from becoming radicalized, especially young, impressionable people. And if I could, just again, I mentioned this earlier, but this, again, is the agency that President Trump has appointed this individual to lead. Mr. Fugate, a 22-year-old who just graduated from college earlier this year with no law enforcement experience, no national security experience, no intelligence experience. So I think what a lot of us are wondering is why? Why, there are plenty of qualified people out there. Is this the best we can do? I think there are some who are speculating that it's because the administration intends to shut down the CP3 program entirely, and Mr. Fugate is there as a placeholder while it's wound down. It's from what I understand, there's been significant firings and layoffs at CP3, which would support that theory. But the answer is we don't know. Now, if this is some whiz kid who is qualified somehow to lead this important office, then I think we at least ought to get him in here to ask him some questions about what his vision and his plans are. And, you know, with the extra minute that the chair was kind enough to grant me, I'll just ask any of our witnesses, does anyone feel comfortable having an individual with Mr. Fugate's profile and experience leading an office like CP3, given the charged environment that we're in right now?
Yeah, look, I'd just like to say that if you look at the entire federal architecture in the 4 years that got us here, I think it was an abysmal failure.
Yeah, but I'm asking about who's in charge right now.
Well, that's the point, sir, because you have all these people who were charged with reducing anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism in this country.
Mr.
And
Carafano,
but for 4 years,
I'll
it
reclaim
just
my time.
went up.
I don't think that justifies, any of this justifies appointing a 22-year-old with no relevant experience to an agency charged with keeping us safe, an agency that the ADL has flagged in one of their top 5 recommendations as needing more support, not less.
So I think you've asked the wrong
I will
question.
yield back.